Okay, so this is gonna be a weekly recap for gold and then forex, mainly Euro USD. And so let's get into it. So going into the week, what I could see is these equal lows resting there. All I wanna say like they don't care and then here I have no bias, but the next day I am still like wanting to see how price reacts to this level. So if I can frame manipulation to trade back into the side or displace it through it. But the next day, which I see, I take it like kind of retracement as silver took out Monday's high, formed SMT there. So we can frame this move back inside as a retracement. So viewing this as a draw for the next day. If the next day aligns, obviously EQ of this candle should stay respected this week. If this SMT or this idea is gonna hold, so next day short still here, which I called out, like not called out, but like wanted to take, which I made you guys do a task for, right? I was I was getting late at coming back to home this day, and this day as well. So leave it. This was the EQ for this week. Obviously stays respected. So daily profile Asia reversal, New York continuation. This being the objective. आवाज आ रही है ना बतवी जो नहीं आ रही ये क्या बोलते हो भाई चोर and this here was SMT with silver. London high with 4-7 a.m. And so framing 8 a.m. continuation. This candle's continuation towards the draw. Current week's low being a failure swing to this ultimate draw. So framing it till there. Previous day low being a level of relevance. I would tell you why this is a level of relevance. Just give me a second. This was the ultimate objective. This here is the previous day low, right? I want to frame 8 a.m. continuation towards the objective, right? When I see I can't trust this as much, like yes, proper candidate for 8 a.m. OHLC, but I can't trust it that much, or I can't use it for a frame, for a means of entry. If it stays protected, it goes without me, goes without me. I do not tend to take. As I said yesterday, it should be enough of a range for me to consider a move as an opposing run or a move as an opposing candle. Obviously, it should be into a relevant POI as well, but the first point, it should be enough of a range, not this small. Like, yes, this is enough of a range, right? Not this small. Okay. Then previous day low, as I said, a point of relevance to me. When I see 8 a.m. OHLC price displacing through it, through previous day low, comes back, immediately starts to move away. True breakout framework below previous day low, and we already have objective. यार ये मैंने मार चलानी है तू M5 पे लग रहा, and we already have a objective, clear objective resting below. So the best entry to me was this, framing till 2 hours, like getting less risk reward but higher probability idea, and like more systematic, more one shot one kill based idea rather than framing this. Less RR is better than, like, less probability, less win rate. This entry, if you frame it like at limit order, then you get more than 2 hours at the objective. If you take market order, which I would have taken market order, I wasn't home at that time, extending my TP a little bit below objective for 2 hours. It goes further than that, yes, but I wouldn't frame it. Let it go without me. I'm totally fine framing it logically. Just this. So this would have been my first position for gold on Wednesday. Any doubts for this? I'm using all this daily profile, all this formation of the daily candle to frame this small of a move, but a more high probable move, trusting this. And if we see this in the means of like entry criteria, this is not a like high of the candle itself, high time frame candle. This is the high, but so this, then this would be a continuation entry, right? And for continuation entry, we want to use anticipation of the EQ logic. So this already comes below EQ if price goes till here. So yes, proper validated for continuation entry. And there was 830 something PPI, I guess so, on Wednesday. And so if you don't want to take here, you can take it here after PPI comes. Both work well. But PPI shouldn't be of any concern much. So I can take interest prior to PPI. Had it been CPI, then I would have not taken, but I don't think there was CPI on Wednesday. This would have been the position for me till 2 hours. Any doubts? Else I would go on to the next day. Load क्या होता है भाई? Loud. All I wanna say is like it's not about catching it here. It's not about catching this much. It's about catching as per your system says so. My system don't tell me to catch it all this to catch it here, or even if I try to catch it here, my system doesn't tell me to catch this much. Like doing it as your system says so, catching this much, only this much, and here to my system was too good for me. I don't care about this move, I don't care about this move. Following my system, that would protect me in the long time, longer run. And coming back to the daily chart again, now I could see price reached into relevant swing. Use this or use this, both work well. You people were saying this was a 70 here, 11 April. Yes. Okay, fine. This being an SMT, use it or not, but the main thing which was of more relevance to me rather than this SMT was this range relevant low getting tagged. So now I want to see how price reacts to this. If shows immediate move back inside, I would frame back inside. If shows lack of willingness to come back inside and immediately starts to displace away, I would view this as a true breakout below here to frame continuations much lower. But if it comes immediately back inside, I would view this as a manipulation below here to frame longs back inside the range. Okay, two scenarios. This SMT then acts as a conference. The main level of relevance is this. So the next day मैंने चलानी है मार. Next day sweeps out previous day low, and the lower time frame, sorry, intermediate time frame profile says bullish and immediately turns back inside the range. So framing bullish. All I wanna say, like they really care about us. You can clearly see move out of the range, immediate move back inside the range. But the candle having like not small wick but kind of large wick, so framing around current high of the day, and this is the current high of the day, but framing till here, then this becomes the objective. I don't care about catching this move, then this is not logical systematic to me. This would have been the objective, logical objective to me. Previous day low here. All I wanna say, I don't really care about this. Now, this wouldn't have been confirmed until here, right? Until 6 a.m. Candle comes back inside, right? So I am using all this move for a framework to frame this little move, but that little move is my system basically. That gives me more edge. That is what gives me my edge. So going over this, now this looks like a reversal back into the range clearly on the daily and on the hourly as well, right? Aggressive move out of the range, aggressive move back inside the range, expansion into a relevant objective met with expansion to the opposing side. So framing it as a reversal, these objectives resting here, framing it only till here and not here, as not here, as due to the fact the daily candle has large wicks, so less expansion, like less plausible for less probable that more expansion happens till here. So framing around current high of the day, okay. This as the ultimate objective, so framing continuation still there. All I wanna say like that, I care about us. And it was what London reversal, so we can frame early New York entries as well. 6 a.m. being an expansion candle, open no high close, small opposing wick, nice. And Rom framed this early entry, but I was out at this time. Like a member of the gang framed this entry with trusting this swing. Like same logic, continuation entry in the high time frame candle, anticipating the with aligning with the EQ logic. This low comes below EQ as 6 a.m. is already an expansion candle, so you would expect expansion till here. So kind of valid entry. Yes, I wasn't home at that time, so she framed it till this till here 2.87 something error. I would show you guys. Like here, she executed on this, which I told you this was her objective. Executed this M15 on the order block. Okay, she executed here. So like more than 3 hour position, I guess. But her objective was this, I guess. Then maybe don't exactly know. Leave it. But she framed this entry. Yes, her objective would be this. Okay, she framed till 4 hour. This was her objective. Okay, this 4 hour Batmizi fair value gap. Nice. Okay, that's why 2.8 hour. This was her entry, and I would show you what I would have taken. This was her entry 2.8 hour to the objective, and the ment is doing it exactly the same way I would do it and framing it live. That is what matters, without even me telling them to do this that way, framing these moves independently on their own. Now going into that, how I would have framed it, मेरे को बताओ कि थर्सडे को कुछ थी क्या न्यूज़. This entry here kind of good, but if you want to use it to framework, the good entries to me are SMT there. I do remember. So closer above this, ATM OLHC. SMT was with XAUUR. This SMT. ATM's low with 820 low. With 820 low. This take market order if you get around 2 hours, but my objective would have been this. Yes, I would have taken a market order and not waited for a limit order, and then another continuation entry would have been this 830 open low. If I show you where 830 is, $830 open low, immediate move away, framing this with trusting this swing, first this, then this, towards the objective, full 2 hour till the objective. So these two entries are the ones which I would have considered taking, and that's it. For gold, for me, I was wanting to frame Friday continuation higher as well, but daily profile didn't align for me, so I let it go, and we'll see how Monday prints. And now going over to EURUSD. Like, yes, I was wanting to long gold, but the daily profile didn't give me much, and it was already much below EQ, so I wasn't trying to pick much. So then only letting this day go. 7 a.m. 8 could have framed, but I prefer not to. More of a retracement day than expansion day. Ideally, Monday does the expansion thereafter towards these highs. We'll see. And so going to Euro USD. All I wanna say like इस पे इंडिकेटर ऑफ कर देते वो कर देते हैं ऑन. ठीक है. Any doubts for gold breakdown, gold's weekly recap? वॉइस क्लियर है साथ में मेरे को वो भी तो बताओ, क्योंकि मैं बहुत आराम से बोल रहा हूँ आज. यार ये बंदा हमेशा नो बोलता है, मैंने बाहर ही निकाल देना इसको. Okay, so going into Monday, I didn't have a look till Wednesday on EURUSD, but we'll see if I would have. I don't think I would have participated Monday, Tuesday as well. Yes, most probably not. No clear narrative, no clear direction. So I just had a look on it Wednesday. On Wednesday, saw this sweep of current high of the week, SMT there. So telling me kind of weekly open high low close candle. So I was wanting to short this day, but this being a large week daily candle, so objectives get refined to current low of the day or resting around current day's opening. Okay, getting into this day. Mars. This was what, Friday 9 May. See SMT there. So kind of candidate for weekly open high, established high over current week's opening. So framing back inside the range. Can see weekly open high, established high, displacement back inside SMT with this high. And so London reversal, New York continuation, framing till these unestablished low of the days. I don't know or remember any entries around there. Let's have a look. Because I do not actively watch Forex, but yes, sometimes. I don't know if these are equal highs or not. Not. Maybe I would have framed this sweep of a high, clear closure through it. First entry which looks good to me after this move, I would consider this whole move as a one. Then enough of a opposing move, enough of a opposing range, sweep of a high immediately back inside. So this could be considered, but not much clean, I would say. All I wanna say, and then this 10 a.m. open high, the best entry which I would say, if there was any. 10 a.m. no established high prior to 10 a.m. 10 a.m. directly open low, price comes, forms an established high over 10 a.m. and closure through this, can use this, the best entry I would say for the day, aligned with 10 a.m. H4 OHLC as well. You would not get 2 hour, but refining it like dragging it a bit, obviously taking partials there and full TP around 2 hour, which maybe gets break even or gets hit. Yes. So the best entry I would rate this better, or this I would rate this over this entry. Because I can like trust this swing more, backed by like intermediate term high logic and as well high time frame OHLC logic. 10 a.m. open high displacement, immediate displacement, enough of a range, clean series of opposing candles clearly gets close through. Too clean, too simple setups type of thing. And so going into the next day thereafter, obviously I would be having the same bias, weekly OHLC, so I would still want to short till these lows, right? Next day's daily candle forms a large wick, so again the objectives get refined to current low of the day, and previous day low rests around current low of the day. So ultimate objective being previous day low, and an objective being these equal lows or current low of the day. But one thing which I would take into consideration would be using EQ of previous day's range. Price comes, immediately rejects. So yes, I can consider this is still staying in respect to my idea. And this was SMT with this high, like adding confidence to the existing narrative, sweeping out this high. 9 a.m. and 2 a.m. I guess it was a SMT there. So framing 9 a.m. shorts and low of the day objective and ultimately to previous day low objective. Previous day low did not end up getting it, and that's totally fine. 9 a.m. Okay. and I could see a clear entry there. This move as a retracement 10 am open high into a relevant swing, clean displacement through it, a clean entry if there was a M3, same entry, clean opposing candle forming established high for the 10 am candle, open high into a relevant key level. As I said, highs and lows are the best PD areas for me. Rejects a high, shows lack of willingness above it, displace it through this closing here. So this would be your entry here. And if let's see if there was an M15 entry or not. No. London reversal, so New York continuation. No entry prior here. Only entry I would say this. And if I was still in a position here targeting previous day low as well, then I would have trailed my SL here, or maybe would have gotten break even after low of the day. But if I would have not, then my SL gets trailed here. 11 am open high, vice versa. Same way I use it for 10 am. 11 am open high into opposing swing displacement through it. Then I view this as a high of the higher time frame candle. Like view this open high into relevant key level displacement away, close through opposing candles which formed the high time frame wick. I trust this high, this as the high of the high time frame candle, just like here. So either you add or trail. I would not look to add, but if I were in a position, I would trail my SL from here to here. All I want to say is like they really care about it. And yes, the momentum dies off there. So the only position for the day would have been this, and then going on to the next day. But having one thing in our mind that price has left failure swings, right? Price has left failure swings here. Clean objective still open, have established high here, SMT there. So still weekly candle says bearish, right? Established high over weekly open. Clean objectives resting here, price forming failure swings above it. So still same bias gets forwarded onto the next day, and the same way, if price wants to continue into the same direction, I would want it to respect 0.5 of this wick, and it comes, reaches here, immediately rejects. So if price wants to continue, I would not want to see this high getting reached back again. So then it would be case for London reversal, so New York continuation till the objective. How I would have framed, was there an SMT or not? No, in my opinion. All I want to say is like they really care about us. London reversal, so New York continuation. Maybe you can take this as well, but framing it here, maybe not. This looks good as well, but the thing is risk reward, so not have framed it. And so getting onto the lower time frames. Yes, this is a position where this would have been a valid loss, I would say, if you would have taken this. I myself would have taken this if I were to frame this. Maybe yes. Same way for 9 am. 9 am open high, relevant high over clean relevant swing displacement through. So yes, if I were to frame, I could have taken this, and I would consider this a valid stop out, and that happens. No model has a 100% win rate, and if my idea was still valid, I could again look for entries, then trusting this high. Firstly, I was trusting this high, and then it reaches there for the second time, completely fine with it sweeping me. And then if you do not frame this, if you still wanna add in more narrative, frame 10M OHLC, viewing this as an established high. 10M open immediately displaces these clear opposing candles into POI, enough of a range. That is the thing that matters more. And as this is not the like high of the high time frame candle, so this would be a criteria for continuation entry. And for continuation entry, I use EQ logic. Yes. So EQ of the high time frame candle clearly backs them, right? Obviously, price is already there. So this high is already above EQ. So using this entry then towards the objective, and it makes it reach there. And yes, this would have been a valid loss if someone would have taken this, and it just happens. Just following the system in the long run, that would protect you. Risk management in the short term and following the system in the long term, that is what matters. And so if you people have any doubts, I would go over them, else wrapping up the session maybe. All I wanna say that we don't really care about us. हाँ मत ही बोला करो भाई. So no doubts. Should I end the recording? Hello Ram Singh. Ram Ram. यार उसको पता भी नहीं होगा इसका मतलब पता है. ओम भाई ने शुरू करा है. It wasn't back testing, it was a weekly recap. Like the weekly recap for indices happened yesterday, and for today it was on gold and Euro USD. This past week, recap for this past week. What I saw was not backtesting. I was rating or was going through what telling people what how I would have framed it. Recapping the price action basically. क्या बोल रहे हो लिखे हुए हैं? Gold on Tuesday, yes, I would have a look. Just a second. No problem, recording would be available. Gold on Tuesday, you are saying? All I wanna say is like this. Mama says not good. You said gold on Tuesday. I would have this marked. Yes, but about gold on Tuesday? Would you have framed it till the objective? And this time there are failure swings to the both sides for me. So like don't have much narrative, right? But one thing which I can use to my advantage is try sweeping this high and would see if EQ of previous day's range stays in alignment. Kind of, I would say yes, kind of not. Only after 7 a.m.'s closure, I would see this as a like Richie's EQ starts to come back. So maybe framing this 8 a.m. 9 a.m. continuation till low of the day and ultimate objective, which would obviously not have gotten hit, but see this is a neutral range for me for the moment, just like how it was on Monday on indices. Remember, let it move without you. When you don't have any narrative, don't force narrative. I have objectives to the both sides sometimes. I do not force like it should go on to this direction, it should go here. Like see, it was rejecting this low as well, forming daily OLHC as well, right? And it was not rejecting but kind of rejecting after this 7 a.m.'s closure, rejecting a high as well. So kind of bit confusing. No obvious idea. Failure swings to both sides, rejecting lows as well, rejecting highs as well. You can tell yourself what are the high probable conditions, what are the low probable conditions. You can clearly see by looking here, but yes, 8 a.m., 9 a.m. continuations lower would have been considered, but I would prefer avoiding that day because see the H4, see the daily. Range. Yes, you would prefer framing till here, but only move 8 a.m., 9 a.m. continuation lowers. Framing till low of the day, maybe, right? But not much of a day which you would wanna like force entries. 9 a.m. and 7 a.m. I told you to 8 a.m. Sorry, this 7 a.m. after this 7 a.m. closure, 8 a.m. as well. 8 a.m. comes here, established. This should I consider it as equal high or established high? So leave it. 9 a.m. open high closer below here. Can frame this. If you don't want to frame this continuation after it. Would have to look if there was any sort of SMT there. This was SMT, so you could have taken this. You could have considered taking this till the low of the day objective here. Obviously parceling around 2 hours, which would have been hit, and then here it does not come all the way till low of the day. So kind of valid I would say. And then partial win I would say, then break even. Now okay, but the high time frame wasn't much appealing, much obvious to me to say okay I am immediately bearish, I am immediately bullish. I frame gold and EURUSD only when they look picture perfect clear to me, not forcing type. I mainly that's why participate in indices, as those are the assets which like you can use advanced things to frame, like sometimes ugly price action as well to make it look logical, but don't try to do that with gold and Euro USD. Only frame them when they look too obvious, too clean. Okay, 100% bullish, okay, 100% bearish. See how I told you I could frame it bullish as well, bearish as well. Clear established low for the day as well, right? So looks bullish as well. But still you could have gotten a 2 hour trade, right? Mama, I'm chasing a ghost. Do not look. Any doubts now? Yes. Following your system is a winning day, any day. Like if price isn't making sense to you, why are you okay with risking your money? Risk your money when price makes sense to you. Okay, this should happen. It is looking too obvious, too clear. Then you have no idea why to risk your money then. Everybody think it is. I'm chasing a ghost. Dude. अब मेरे को वापस सुनना है एक गाना सुनना माइक ओके शुड आई स्टॉप द रिकॉर्डिंग नो डाउट्स बाकी काम रिकॉर्डिंग ऑफ करने के बाद करेंगे हैं जल्दी बोलो जल्दी यस